Programming made possible by the Friends of No More fundraiser. Thank you for your support.
Nothing more heart-wrenching than euthanizing an animal because there's no home for it. A healthy animal, well-socialized animal, and there's just no homes. There's nothing worse than that.
The traditional approach to handling excess animals, and particularly with cats, has been to bring them in and to euthanize. And you adopt a few out and you euthanize the rest. And there's a big movement now going on with humane groups nationally. Best Friends Society, Humane Society of the United States, ASPCA, are really getting on board more with no kill. And they're encouraging shelters and trying to promote all sorts of ways, with dogs and cats both. The thing about TNR is it helps stabilize the population of cats. It means trap, neuter, return, and that's exactly what it says. You trap the cat, you neuter it, vaccinate it, and return it to its usual location. You have a non-breeding population that occupy a certain area, and other cats tend to not come into that area. So by attrition, the population decreases.
Feral is a wild cat. It can be several different things, actually. Sometimes people have cats and they let them roam, and they will very quickly go back to being, I don't care for humans, left on their own. We don't only do feral cats, basically. We do indoor-outdoor cats sometimes for people. We do barn cats. They belong where they live, and so we really need to think of them as this is where they live, and they are community cats.
Well, I live on a farm, so I started going to spay and neuter, and I would feel sorry for this one or that one because, it was a pet that someone had dumped at one of the other colonies, and I just kept it. And so all of my cats are spay and neutered, and sometimes we get pregnant cats in. They have kittens. We get the kittens up to age, take them and get them spay and neutered. Adopt out sometimes. People will get tired of their pets and they'll see a colony and say, hey, these cats are fed, they're taken care of, so we'll just dump our cat here. Well, the colonies are not growing on their own, they're just growing from people dumping them, which is huge. You just couldn't, if they kept reproducing, there's no way. You couldn't keep up with them.
Sometimes they'll provide loan the traps, and the caretakers will trap or a friend will trap. But a lot of times these guys will go out on their own dime, and that's one huge thing about SOS. It's on their own dime. They'll go out there and sit around and smell herring and tuna, because we all know that's how to catch a feral cat, is trap with herring and tuna. And they'll go out there and sit and be quiet, which I could never do. Catch these cats and then bring them in.
You can't trap a cat that has been fed, so you have to work with the caretaker and say, okay, well, don't feed today, and then we'll trap tomorrow, because a cat that is well fed is not going in a trap for anybody.
Well, at the moment, I am spaying a cat, and spaying is an easy word for ovaro hysterectomy, so I'm removing the ovaries and the uterus. And the most important part for these TNR, trap, neuter, and release cats, is that they won't be reproducing anymore, but they are also not going to get breast cancer. They're not going to get uterine cancer or uterine infections. They're not going to come into heat, which gets cats into trouble a lot. They get into fights with male cats. They People kick them out of the house because they're in heat and it's driving them crazy that they're meowing morning, noon, and night looking for a boyfriend. So it's good preventative medicine, plus it prevents them from being able to reproduce.
Right now, I'm drawing shots for the cats. They get a CVRP and a rabies, 3-year rabies vaccination. And they also get Revolution applied for internal and external parasites. They get an ear tip that they're easily identified, and they don't have to undergo anesthesia again to have another possible surgery. It's hard to tell with pet cats whether they've been fixed or not unless they're males. And so we have an outward appearance that they have been fixed, making it easy to identify them. And hopefully they'll live a much better life and live a longer life because of what we do.
Induction, 2 minutes to go to sleep, 3-4 minutes to get prepped, where we clip the hair, do the surgical scrub, clip the ear. They come in here, they get put on gas as a supplement to the anesthesia injectable anesthesia that they had out there. And then I can neuter a male cat in about 15 seconds. I can spay a female cat, an uncomplicated spay, in about 6 minutes. And then they go from here to recovery, where they get antibiotics and/or anti-inflammatories, pain medicine. Yeah, we talk to them while we're doing the surgery. I'm like, you don't need your testicles. Your testicles are only going to get you into trouble. You want to be delivered from your testicles. I have no doubt that it saves thousands of animals from being euthanized a year. It is heart-wrenching to euthanize them, but what's more heart-wrenching is trying to aggressively treat them and watch them die anyway. And I know these problems. I know spay and neuter impacts that not happening as much.
We want to see them taken care of. We don't want to see them abandoned. We don't want to see them hungry or killed. And we want to help them. And this is people's better natures, really, that are going out there and helping, in our case, cats. And I think it would be a great sadness for those folks. At this point, I think we are having an impact on the population of cats, neighborhood by neighborhood by neighborhood. And that would go away, and you would have cats that are breeding and sick and hungry.
It's going to be really tough on the cats and on the community, and the impact is huge because all those cats are having kittens. The males wander and will find any female that is in heat, and so it's a big problem, and that's why the TNR movement started. So it would be a huge impact.
You know, it's making a difference, spaying and neutering, and I believe that with all of my heart, that it makes a huge difference.
The intake of cats and kittens is down. In the time that we've been doing what we do, that has really come down. And so the impact is very evident in intake numbers for the animal care and control here.
You know, we all want less feral cats, but this is the humane way to do it.